All right. Well, folks, I am super duper excited to introduce to you guys on this meet and greet Zoom a gentleman that has been so influential in my success, because I remember just sitting at his feet in awe of just how incredible this gentleman's mindset, his work ethic, but the nuggets and the principles that he would just bestow upon so many other lives, especially when it comes to insurance and just wealth accumulation. Folks, I have a gentleman here who has a degree and a background with business psychology. That was his major back in college. He got his master's degree in theology, then came out to being a minister. And after that, pretty much almost a leave of absence from being a minister, very passionate about that when it came to his faith, but just realized that maybe there was something different where his ministry could lie. And he went into being into the sales construction business. And remember that 2008 and 2009, when so many folks got laid off from their jobs. If they owned a business, you were just absolutely, completely not in business. So the economy tanks. Then it led you into a career in insurance because you realize, hey, listen, I want to have a career that's essential to society, that has nothing to do with the economy, has nothing to do when it comes to inflation, that your job is not going to be in hindrance. And you fell into insurance. You got licensed in 2010, worked with a company for 3 years, realized that, hey, there's not a future here. And you got connected with Jordan Smith and became one of his direct agencies. And in 2013, you began your career with North American Senior Benefits and have been here ever since. Right. You've been a huge inspiration to so many people. You've got 6 children, 4 biological, got 6 grandchildren. You are one of the most active partners that I know about. I know whenever we go travel the world, whether it's Spain, that you're that person, you and Greta, your beautiful wife. You guys are you're waking up early. You already know the game plan. You've already done the research, and you stay up because you want to squeeze every ounce of life when it comes to those moments. So I'm excited to be able to interview tonight on this meet and greet. So tell us a little bit about what you're most excited about this evening when it comes to folks that are kind of looking at this career, maybe for the first time, maybe they've already been interviewed, maybe they've gotten hired on. They've been qualified and selected. What are you most excited about when it comes to the audience that we have?
Well, it's great to be on, Ashley. Thanks for the invite. I think what I'm excited about is they have no idea what's in store for them. I fell into insurance. I had no idea that it was what I soon discovered it to be. Not only a life-changing experience in terms of relationships, but also income. My income doubled every single year until I got to 7 figures. Hard to double up after 7. But it was like a rocket ship. But I didn't know that up front. I was simply looking for a way to replace my existing income. As you mentioned, I had a construction company. We rode that wave for 10 to 12 years. I mean, back in those days, banks were throwing money at people. If you could fog a mirror, you could get a loan. There was an enormous amount of equity built up in people's houses, and I was selling them products that enabled them to cash out that equity and buy something real nice, like a luxury item, a swimming pool or a sunroom, or maybe renovate their kitchen. But when that train came to a screeching halt, man, it stopped almost overnight, and the business tanked. So for 2.5 years, we were sitting ducks. We lost everything that wasn't nailed down. You know, the joke I tell is I lost everything except the house we lived in and the car my wife drove, because if I lost either of those, I might lose her, and she was way too expensive to replace. But when I fell into insurance, I was just looking for a way to make money. But what I soon discovered was it was a life-changing experience. You know, being a minister, you have to give me some allowance here. It was an answer to prayer. Honestly, it was an answer to prayer. I was the guy draped across the bed, crying out, "God, have you forgot about me?" And I did not know that this was the answer. It didn't take me about a month or 2 to figure out why I was where I was.
Amen.
And subsequently, they coined the nickname the insurance evangelist.
Pretty much. And like I said, I think that you're such an inspiration because just the principles, the behavior, but then your action and, just the valor backed up behind that action. You have such a conviction about this career, about this industry in general. What are we looking for when it comes to an individual that we are qualifying and selecting to partner with as far as working with North American Senior Benefits? What are some of the qualities that somebody really does have to have?
I like to find people that have a proven track record of success. If you've never been, I tell my guys, if a person's never been successful at anything, they're probably not going to start here. People that are successful find a way to be successful. Now, unfortunately, many of those people that are successful, they find themselves in careers or jobs in which the money just isn't there. I say, if you can be the best ditch digger in the world, only pay so much money. Be the best school teacher, it only pays so much money. You can be the best hairdresser, best banker, best lawyer, best physician. There's a ceiling to those incomes. Nothing more frustrating than to want to be a strong six-figure earner, but for whatever reason, you find yourself in a career that only pays 50 to 80,000. You're successful. You just need the right vehicle to get you there. So that's one thing I'm looking for. The second thing I'm looking for, people that are teachable and trainable. I say there's three types of people. There's people that are ready to go right now, and they're ready to go right now because they've had enormous success in prior endeavors. They have huge self-confidence, and they have a limited amount of baggage. The second type are those that are ready to go now with a little bit of training. They don't have a lot of experience, but they don't have a lot of baggage. They have confidence. They just need some training. And then you have the third type, which are projects. The projects are those that have little to no success in the past. They are somewhat teachable and trainable, but they don't have a track record, and they become projects. Unfortunately, the key is being able to identify which is which. The number one, they're hard to mentor and coach because they know how to be successful. The latter, the projects, they present as number ones until they show themselves in actions. That's number two. Man, they're home runs because you can really pour into them and mentor them. And actually, as you know, this business is about mentorship as it is insurance.
Amen. Absolutely. So I think it really kind of, when I think of what's the number one killer currently right now in the United States, it's cardiovascular disease. Everybody knows that. But here's the crazy thing.
Yep.
If I ask somebody, well, what does it take to be successful in our realm? Okay, well, what it takes to be successful in our realm is the same as what it takes to be successful in any realm, in any relationship,
Yep.
in any business endeavor. You got to have grit. You got to have that coachability. You got to be able to have a solid work ethic where we can physically count on you. Would you count on you? You know, and also the leadership qualities, we all know them. Just like in cardiovascular disease, hey, how do you prevent a heart attack? Okay, well, we go work out. We eat healthier things. I know that you're very big into health and fitness. You've even shared a bunch of ideas with us, you know, just about the equilibrium and the pH balance of your body. Why wouldn't we want to be healthier so we can live longer to enjoy this life? So we know what to do. And so I don't think it's this aha, oh, okay, so that's what it takes to be successful. No, you know what it takes to be successful. It's just a matter of, are you choosing to go down that road to becoming successful? So let me ask you this. What would you say when it comes to the world of financial services, which that's the world that insurance is in, it's banking and also insurance. Why did you step into a career in financial services?
You know, I've oftentimes asked myself that question, and the straight, honest answer is that's the door that opened. That's what presented itself. Many times we make things more complicated than they have to be. When you put it out to the universe, what you're looking for, the doors will open. You have to have the wisdom, the foresight to see the door and walk through it. Whatever presents itself, it presents itself to me. I walked through it. I became successful. And as a result, now I'm able to open other doors in that field.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. I guess you could say, as I said earlier, I fell into it.
Yeah. It's amazing. You know, the connections that when you look at your life and where people have gone and what road and detours they've gone down. And it's amazing that it's really about the connections, but then, hey, what leads you to something? And then when you go into financial services, you realize that it is the primary driver for the entire nation's economy. So when the government says, oh my gosh, we've got COVID that's about to hit this entire world, 49 million Americans lost their jobs in 2020. We had 70% of people that were business owners had to close their doors. And for one simple reason, which is they were not essential to society. So the government said, if you
100%.
are not essential, you need to close your doors and you need to stay inside. You will be furloughed. And it was such a blessing to be able to know that when you're looking at if you're essential, if your career is essential, it was so wonderful to be able to have that stamp from the government that said, yes, if you're in financial services, we can't have you close your doors because you're the backbone to the entire economy. If that doesn't give somebody security and peace of mind that you're in a career that's going to be that oak tree career, that no matter what comes, if COVID comes again, if the Great Depression comes again, if the real estate shuts down, if so many other things that come and go, but guess what? Insurance has been around since the 17th century. So it's such a beautiful, when you look at the graph of it, it's just this beautiful little up. It's just such a progressive
uptick.
It really is.
To that point, Ashley, I call this a level 10 opportunity because it checks all the boxes. And number fifth box that must be checked is your career pandemic proof. If it's not pandemic proof, then you're subject to a fall in the very near future. COVID wasn't the first pandemic. It was the first pandemic that brought America to its knees, but it's not the first pandemic. And if the current laws exist the way they are, there's another one brewing. I don't know when it's going to hit, but I can guarantee you it's going to hit. And if the career you're currently in isn't pandemic proof, you're going to be crushed and find yourself starting all over again. Think about the millions of Americans that had to start all over again because their industry was obliterated or they were just laid off. When COVID struck, I was rocked. I'll be honest with you. We have a lot of agents in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland. Any of those states ring a bell? They took COVID incredibly serious. Listen, I'm not one of those naysayers. I lost my sister to COVID, so I know it's real. Millions of Americans lost their life during COVID. However, I was concerned that our agents wouldn't be able to make a living, and they were too. As Jim Rohn says, don't pray that things get better. Pray that you get better. And we did. We learned to sell over Zoom. You led the way on that, Ashley, by the way. We learned to sell over the telephone. But then we discovered, as you just mentioned, we were essential personnel. So we donned the mask, put the gloves on, and went to seniors' homes. You probably have heard this too. I've had people ask me time and time again, weren't seniors afraid for you to come to their house? I thought they would be. What we discovered was the exact opposite. And then it dawned on me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. These seniors were locked down, quarantined. They were exposed to a 24-hour news cycle every 15 minutes, being reminded if they contract this deadly disease that death was imminent. So when we got there, Ashley, you remember, they were waiting on us. If they didn't have coverage, they got coverage. They had coverage, they wanted more coverage. We'll make sure everybody in their family had coverage. What else to go see? Everyone in their families, make sure they had coverage. We had a 20% growth year after year with the one exception, COVID. During COVID, 57%, Ashley. Now, I don't wish COVID on anyone, but I'm telling you, the average American will wake up January 1 and they'll anticipate a 3 to a 3.4 cost of living adjustment. How would you like to try on a 57% one year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wore well. It wore good. This business is pandemic proof. Is yours?
Yeah. If you really think about it, absolutely. And that kind of leads into, you're looking at financial services as a whole, and then you're looking into this $995 billion market called life insurance. So of all the careers in financial services, here's this beautiful, I guess you could say, rabbit hole of life insurance. And when you're looking at life insurance, and of course, we'll go into what NASB specializes in, but why life insurance? The way I see it is, hey, look, I remember in business school at East Carolina University, the professor said this: if you can find a product, good, or service that everybody wants, needs, or desires, then you will always be successful. But I remember him telling me this back at ECU. He said, if you could team up with baby boomers, you are going to be wildly successful, because when you think about the world of life, I know, crazy, right? And I just remember that, gosh, there's 56 million Americans currently right now in the United States. So when you're looking at life insurance, it's so essential to society. What we were talking about, recession resistant, COVID proof, but you're also looking at the fact that we're in the state of the economy. We're at an all-time high with inflation. The cost of living is skyrocketing at a 6 to 7% interest rates right now. Even to get a car, it's unbelievable, the interest rates. Cost of milk, cost of goods, cost of eggs, everything has gone up. My question to the entire audience is, has your income gone up? And if you are in a W-2 position, your boss is paying you for the job that you're doing. He's not paying you for what you're worth. When you step into the world where the 5%, where the world's wealth is, who are these people? They're business owners. They're small business owners. Also, you look at the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, you've got to be able to be a 1099 if you're trying to even make it into being super successful as far as wealth accumulation. Let's talk about life insurance, death insurance, simplified final expense. Why do we specialize in life insurance?
Number one, no one gets out of here alive. Everyone, it's affordable. Any and everyone can be approved. Everyone knows they need it. And eventually everyone will have it. The only question is from who, whom, and when. And our answer is today from me. But to your point, inflation, it doesn't even matter how much money you make. What matters is what your money will buy. $100, one grocery bag, you can carry with one hand and there'll be no meat in it. Inflation has eaten the heart out of the dollar. The average American will have that cost of living adjustment, 3%. Inflation is no respecter of persons or time. It can happen in July or August or September. If you're waiting on a promotion in January or cost of living adjustment in January, you're going to suffer the balance of the year. Here in insurance, that's not the case, because when the cost of goods increase, the carriers increase premiums. With premiums increase, commission increases. So you always stay ahead of the inflationary curve. You're not going backwards in your buying power. That's what's so huge about life insurance. One, it's affordable. Everyone can qualify. Everyone knows they need it, and everyone will have it now or later. Only question is, who are they going to get it from and when they're going to get it?
Amen.
That's why insurance.
Amen. It's such a secure career if you're really thinking about it. That's why I remember when I got started with North American Senior Benefits, my backbone was really just coming off of East Carolina University, graduating with a communications degree, doing nothing with it, was a servant, a bartender. Then I started a career in Gold's Gym. I didn't care about the aspect of, was I passionate about fitness? I was passionate about the results that the job was willing to give me, because that was the only opportunity I had at the time. And it's the same thing here. I look at this generation that's coming up, and so many people are saying, oh, go find what you're passionate at. And I'm going to be real with you. When I stepped into the world of insurance back in 2013, I wasn't passionate about selling life insurance or working potentially with a demographic that I had no experience in. It was scary to me.
Right.
But then the crazy thing is, I was excited and passionate about the results that this career could bring. Now let's talk about some of those results. What are some of the results now that we've gone through, a little bit about the financial services, life insurance in general? Let's kind of start talking about why North American Senior Benefits. There are other folks out there, but when you're looking at North American Senior Benefits, that reputation alone, we absolutely, we're known for being the healthiest, one of the most profitable private insurance brokerages in the United States. So let's talk about some of those good things that come from NASB.
I would say number one is mentorship. People make $50,000 a year for one reason, Ash. They know how to. Folk make $100,500 for one reason. They know how to. People make $250,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million for one reason. They know how to. Many people have watched a television program. The guy parachutes in a small rural or a city somewhere with $1,000 cash, and now he's going to parlay that into $1 million business over the next 30 days. Why can he do that? Why can she do that? Because they've done it before. If you've done it before, you can get back there again. Here at North American Senior Benefits, every new hire is partnered with 3 to 5 coaches, specialists that can help you get where you want to be. We have folk making $35,000 a year, people making $6 million a year, everything in between. The only difference is time and effort. Here at NASB, you get mentorship. You can listen to any coach guru you want. They're going to list either 1, 2, or 3, the importance of finding a mentor and a coach. It allows you to compress time. Can you reinvent the wheel? Sure. Why do it? Find someone that is doing what you want living the lifestyle you want, making the amount of money you want, that is willing to tell you and coach you to that level, and you will compress time. NASB, we're about mentorship, which speaks directly to our culture. It's about others first. We really are compassionate. We're also passionate about helping others experience the results that we're getting. You asked me about NASB, I'd say mentorship, Ash.
Yeah, you think that definitely. I 100% agree. Like when you're looking at the great businesses in America, what separates the greats from the good is the people. It's not the systems. It's not the products. It's always the people that make an organization. And, we're looking at, goodness gracious, I think there's 25 plus partners at NASB, especially when we started back in 2012 with the founders, Chad Milner and Craig Harvey. To have 20 plus partners at this level, 10 years later, and we all started out where all the audience is. We all started out being interviewed, qualified and selected. Somebody saw something inside of us and said, yes, you've got the it factor. We want to see it come to life here. And I think that's the coolest thing, is that we're able to build that foundation of, okay, well, is it really possible to have and design the life that we've always wanted? And I can sit here and say, absolutely, 110%. It's all based on your numbers. It's not based on who you know, your background, your age, none of that. It's all based on you. I love the fact that I can absolutely write myself a paycheck today, tomorrow, based on my work ethic. So why NASB? It's 100% because of the people of it. Let's go into real quickly. You call this the 4 pillars. You were the founding father of the 4 pillars of NASB. So let's kind of dive into what makes NASB great. Is always its people, the culture of NASB, the mission that we're all marching towards. But let's talk about those 4 pillars. Let's touch on vested day one. Let's talk about that.
Yep, that's huge. When you come here, you own your own business. There are other opportunities to get involved in insurance, but the majority, you're going to be a captive, which means you're going to work exclusively for that company. And it's going to take you between 3 and 5 years to be vested. Now, why do they do that? Because they realize the longer they drag you along, the more likely it is that you quit. They're the same companies also want you to make a list of your family and friends. I ask people all the time, why would you want to speak to the people you love most when you know the least? Doesn't make sense to me, because they realize you will exhaust that list, you'll quit, and guess who retains that book of business? The employer. Or there are other companies, they promise investment, but they know they're going to drive you out of the business, and they're going to replace your business, sell your book, sell your, etc. But here at NASB, day one, you own your book of business. The reason I think that's so very vitally important is because most Americans are going to work 30 to 40 years somewhere doing something. In fact, there are people on this phone call this evening that in 30 to 45 days, they're going to wake up and they're going to have a new job, and they're going to work 30 to 40 years doing a various host of things. And at the end of the career, 65 to 70, people's going to ask them, what did you do for a living? Someone's going to say, I worked in such car dealership. Another one's going to say, I worked at the hospital as a nurse. Another one, I decided to be a school teacher. Another, in a manufacturing plant. But there'll be some that say, you know what? I invested my life in building an insurance agency, and now I'm living off the benefits of it. Because those that don't build something that they own, they can look forward to a Social Security check. Those that build an agency will look forward to either willing that agency to the next generation, talking about generational wealth. They're looking to sell their book of business, which will give them a windfall, an ultimate golden parachute, or they're going to look to riding the wave out through retirement. In either case, they're building every single day a retirement for themselves and their children. That's what excites me about day one investment. You wake up every day and you know you're not working for someone else, but you're working for yourself. Oh, and you slip your head in the door of your kids and realize, I'm going to work for this one here. And you realize in 20 to 30, dude, you have radically changed and transformed your kid's life. You know, an interesting stat, Ashley, the average American family will make within $10,000 to $15,000 of what their parents make.
Wow.
What are you teaching the next generation? Own your own business, whether you partner with us or not. Believe in yourself, invest in yourself. There's no greater investment or place you can put your effort, energy than in yourself. You're the single most greatest thing you'll ever have access to.
Amen. Amen. I just think about the fact of what is like a normal day with NASB when you're looking at these 4 pillars and how they intertwine with what we do in the day to day. Folks, what we do is we specialize in simplified final expense, and our target
Yep.
market is seniors. We have seniors that request for us to come and see them every single day. If there are 56 million seniors out there, last year alone, I know NASB mailed out 32 million pieces of
Yeah,
mail
million.
to those seniors. And that's just direct mail. That's not even including digital marketed leads that we've got. So we have an exclusive lead system, which we'll talk about as a second pillar in a moment.
Yep.
But just to be able to go in the wide, fresh, open air, you're not attached to a cubicle with fake lighting.
Yeah.
You're
Oh my
there for
God.
8
Yeah.
to 12 hours a day on a salary, and you're doing the same work that the person next to you is, but they're getting paid more for some weird reason. And I love the fact that I can go and every day is an adventure. Every day I get to just listen to a senior, their war stories, their excitement of their grandchildren, and we just get to maximize where they currently are when it comes to their life insurance needs. That's what we do every day. And it is so much fun to be able to get the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits and the vegetables from their garden. But then the best thing is that this career, it really does matter to them. So when you're trying to have a career that makes a difference, everybody wants to help people. But do you feel that at your job right now? Do you really feel, talking to the audience, do you really feel that what you're doing is making an impact in your community right now? And if not, no wonder you have such a loss of hope in this, in life, because you're like, what else is there? And until you found us or we found you. So let's talk about that second point when it comes to this in-house lead system that's exclusive with NASB.
Yeah. We have skin in the game. When we say we partner with a person, we mean it. We partner. So the average lead in America is between $45 and $55. That's what it costs to acquire. Here at North American Senior Benefits, our most popular lead is between $12 and $14. Why is the price so suppressed? Because we front the money. We hold an inventory for you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want 100 leads. By the way, you don't have to purchase these leads. They're available. You can take advantage of them. You can not take advantage of them. It's completely and totally up to you, but they're made available to you. So you may want 100 leads a month. You don't want 100 today. You may want 25 this week. We hold the other 75 in inventory for you. Oh, by the way, you didn't pay a nickel for them. Usually it takes 2 months to acquire these leads. So you're out money for 2 months. It's about cash flow. So we spend our money, we get them, then we split the cost with you, and you get them as you want them, the type you want them, and where you want them. It's about cash flow. When you compare that to other type lead platforms, the companies put a spin on it. They say stuff like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll front you leads against your commission. I liken that to giving an unlimited American Express card to a high school graduate. In 3 to 4 months, they will spin themselves into oblivion. It'll take them the rest of their life without to file bankruptcy. And that's precisely what happens with those companies. You owe them more money they owe you, and you quit. They hit your insurance credit score, and you can't work anymore. Or some of those companies that say, look at all these lead vendors, we'll make them available to you. Well, this is what I know, and you know too, Ash. If a person makes their money off selling leads, who do they sell them to? You meet yourself coming and going. Oh, and the big secret, they all funnel through that one company that opened the door. And guess what they do? They sell them too. Or the free one. That's the one I love, the freebies. Listen, there's nothing free under the sun. A free lead becomes the most expensive lead you can get. Because let me tell you what's not free. The gas in your tank, the tires on your car, the mileage you put on that depreciates it, and most importantly, your time. One thing I discovered, folk looking for free stuff ain't looking to buy stuff. Here, no bait switch. We're not advertising diabetic shoes, Walmart, gift cards, child safety kits, flashlights, or some other dribble. We're advertising for what the folk are looking for. So when you show up, you're ready to have a conversation.
Amen.
The leads are real.
Amen. It reminds me of the fact that I would say that probably one of the hardest things that when we do select and hire somebody is taking them from corporate America and then going into a 1099 position where it's 100% commission based. And it's a very hard mindset, because what we're looking at is you were not investing as a W-2. Somebody else was investing all those other products and those goods. So being now your
Right.
main investor, and obviously the best investment is always in yourself and then in others, but the raw material here is in leads. It's so nice to be able
Yep.
to have people that we can go see. This realm of insurance is very predictable. So predictable to the point of, if I asked, let's say, Keith, what is the average death or life expectancy in the state of North Carolina or in the state of Florida?
Mhm.
There are people that sit behind desks and do these actuaries every single day.
That's
This
right.
predictable the insurance world is, so much so that
Mhm.
1 out of 3 presentations that you do on a daily basis, they're going to close,
Correct.
because it's simplified final expense. We're not trying to push a mortgage protection on a 24-year-old. We're trying to say, listen, you need your basic $15,000 burial insurance, Miss Johnson. Look no further. I'm so glad that we were able to be here for you. We get her approved in 8 minutes. Boom, bada bing. We get paid direct deposit in our bank within 2 business days. To be able to get paid every single day is still, to this day, blows my mind, which leads me to my third pillar, which you had created this pillar, the advancement for real opportunity, the ability
Yep.
to build up your bank account, have these compounding commissions per se, be able to get paid on the back pay of things that you did back in 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You do the work once, you get paid forever. Everybody's heard of this, but let's expand on the ability to have advancement for a real opportunity with us.
Yep. I tell people at this point in the conversation, I'm looking for people that are pissed off.
Nice.
If you're the guy that started early and worked late, and you get your paycheck on Friday, and your buddy gets a paycheck on Friday, he's the guy that started late and finished early, and you look at the paychecks and they both look the same, and quite frankly, you're pissed off. You're the guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that want to be compensated according to their effort. Here at North American Senior Benefits, if you promote yourself, you can't fall back. We don't move the goalpost. I used to do sales gigs in which you'd have to sell 30% more year 2 to make the same amount of money as you did year 1. We don't move the goalpost. Here, you don't have to be the favorite. You don't have to be favored to be promoted. I was not the kid picked first in dodgeball, okay? I just wasn't. I knew that I could outwork anyone, but I wasn't the tallest. I wasn't necessarily the fastest, but I knew I was the most consistent. That may be you. Here, you can promote yourself. No one pushes you forward, and beautiful thing is, nobody can hold you back. So you're in charge of your own destiny. Tony Robbins says, why live your life? Create it. Here at NASB, you have the tools to create your life.
Amen. Absolutely. Phenomenal. And then, of course, going into our fourth pillar, which is, this is a legitimate brokerage. So you were talking about captive versus broker. So talk a little bit about the difference between a legitimate brokerage of what we are. We're very healthy in our size, but then also every year, we've never had a year yet where we've actually gone below 10% in growth. Every year, it's been almost like an average of 20%, 22, 30%, 40%, 57%. So that's a pretty cool fact there. So talk to us about that.
It's because you're not limited. I mean, a lot of companies are in our market sector, if you will, but usually they have one company. That's it. So they're constantly trying to fit round pegs in square holes. With us, we have a plethora of options, a rich, diverse portfolio of products. And I don't mean just a different company with a larger premium. I'm talking about companies that specialize in certain health conditions, because companies have risk tolerances. Some are more open to heart issues, some diabetic issues, some lung issues. And you have to have the right company for the right medical conditions. So if you're able to literally shop your clients around, you have confidence that you're putting them at the best product, at the best price, with the most benefits. It protects your business, but also when you meet them at the grocery store, you're not hiding behind the fruit, thinking that they've talked to someone else and they now feel as if you took advantage of them. That's not going to happen. When you meet them, they're glad to see you, because if they have shopped, your stock went up. They know that you were the best show in town. That's what it means to be a part of a brokerage. You're not a one-trick pony. You're not a Barney Fife with one bullet. You've got lots of them in your arsenal, and you can meet the needs of your seniors. I mean, at the end of the day, who are we helping? We're helping your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt. Don't you want to do the best by them?
Absolutely. 110%. And, just with those 4 pillars alone, being vested day one, in-house lead system, the real opportunity for advancement, you can hit partner if that's a desire for you and you want to hit it, or if you just want to, hey, discover what your natural best is and you just want to be a really good, solid producing agent. Hey, look, Glassdoor and Indeed say first year out, as far as an average agent here with NASB, you're looking at about $87,000 to $98,000 your first year out. Crazy awesome stuff, right? And then so pretty much in closing, when it's the next step, so if we want to partner potentially with a person that's on here, they're looking at us, they've already been interviewed potentially, and they're going through that interview process, you want to go ahead and text the person that's interviewed you and say, do I have what it takes? Do I have what it takes? And you want to text them right now, because we're taking our time, our money, our investment in you to really show you the way. Just like what he was talking about, Keith, about the mentorship program. We already know Yellow Brick Road. All you have to do is follow the systems that we've been so beautifully able to articulate and just say, look, come on, follow us. So the next step is this. If we think that you are the person we want to partner with, over the next 14 business days, we're going to send you what we call pre-licensing, 24 credit hours based upon your state. So whether you're in Texas or North Carolina, Virginia, that there's always these, hours that are driven for pre-licensing online. Can you complete that class within the next 14 business days? If not, you're probably not the person that we're looking to hire, because we have a sense of urgency where we have certain positions that we need to fill in our organization. Maybe you want to be that agent, or maybe you're saying, listen, pick me because I want to go into management. I want to lead organization. So based on where we have positions available, we'll be able to place you. And of course, second is see what a normal day is like. Go do a shadow ride along, hop in the car
100%.
with the person that interviewed
100%.
you. So you can see what a normal day is like and the people that we get to impact every single day. Now, Keith, anything else in closing when it comes to those next steps?
I say success loves speed. People, they can overanalyze and rob themselves of an opportunity. If you're looking, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. But success loves speed. If you're going to do it, put everything you got into it. Knock it out as quickly as possible. Get your career started. If you're on this phone call and you believe that you are missing out on $1,000 a day for every day you delay, how quick would you act? Well, I'm telling you, that's what you're missing out on, $1,000 a day. Don't delay. First step, reach out, have the second conversation, determine if this is a good fit. If you still have questions, get in the car, because your coach would like to give you their input. Trust me, they're not going to hire you if they don't think it can work out. We know you're just like us. You're looking to advance your life condition. You're looking to take advantage or provide for your family, and we're not going to waste your time.
Amen.
Jump.
Amen. Absolutely. And I just remember back, when I started with NASB, I kind of had a really rough start in the beginning. And I just remember being a stay-at-home mom for about 10 months. And in those 10 months, we were poor as dirt. So I know what it's like to be poor, and I know what it's like to be wealthy. And people ask me all the time. I think it's just the funniest question, but such a convicted, grounded question. They say, was it worth it? Because I remember having to sell my engagement ring for rent money. Because if you were to ask what my dream was, back then in February 2015, Keith, my dream was, I just want to go to the grocery store and have a cart. I had a family of 4, 2 kids, Christian and Colie. They were under the age of 4, both of them. Right. And I was that mom that I would always pass the butcher. I would always pass the seafood, place. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to get the on sale ground chuck. If that is you right now, I want to let you know it is worth it. Me and Keith get so 100%. Excited about what's to come, the next 10 years, the next 10 years after that. And I really can't say that a lot about other people's careers. Keith, in closing, I was at, where was I? I was getting salmon for our family yesterday.
Yeah.
Went to the local seafood market, and I asked a guy, I said, what's the best part about your day? And he said, the best part of my day is at 5 o'clock when I leave. And
Oh my God.
so intriguing because I've asked that question to so many people, the cashiers at the grocery store, and they all say the same thing: when I get off. I can sit here and say this when it comes to this career of the NASB. I may be exhausted. I may be tired at times, but I never get tired or exhausted of this. I never get tired of being able to pour value into somebody, being able to have someone else pour value into me. It is such an incredible career, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Keith, for being on today. Folks, I hope it was absolutely an incredible time for you as well. Get back to the person that actually invited you, and I look forward to actually hearing the incredible stories and the progress that you come here in the next coming weeks. Y'all take care.